Right, welcome to the HubFizz EcoBiz show, where you can get ideas to grow your business and make it greener. And today I'm joined by Melissa Hobson, and we are talking about transparency and authenticity when promoting your brand, also known as not greenwashing. So great topic. I think it's really timely. And welcome, Melissa. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. And so we've just been chatting. Melissa's a copywriter and PR consultant who's working with organizations who are making a positive difference to our ocean, our planet, and people's lives. And she's also got uh, another side hustle, as you mentioned. So your particular passion is for protecting the ocean. How did this come about?
Yeah, so I'm possibly a bit of an outlier in the marine conservation community in that I didn't grow up by the ocean, on the beaches and all that kind of thing. I was actually probably about 20 when I learnt to scuba dive. I was on holiday in Australia and I thought, nah, may as well. I hated every second of the training. It was awful, and I just gritted my teeth and wanted to get through it. And then as soon as I got in the ocean, it was just absolutely incredible. And I think that was very much the moment that I got bitten by the bug.
Yeah.
Um, so from there, I started to plan my holidays to go diving. I then started writing for some scuba diving magazines. So was kind of doing a little bit of journalism and copywriting on the side of my day job, which was in PR. And then in 2018, I quit my job, left London, and moved to Mozambique to go and volunteer with a marine conservation charity called MMF. And I was helping with their comms, but I was also able to get out on the boats, help collect some data, do the photo IDs, all that kind of stuff. And that was just an absolutely transformative year. And that was when I officially niched, I guess, into marine conservation and kind of ocean related comms.
Fantastic. Oh, so jealous. As I was saying to you, I grew up in Zimbabwe and lived there, but I never got to Mozambique because sort of during that time it was quite dangerous to go there. But I know people who have been, and it's just such a stunning place. So I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I'm
But
jealous of my past self now, having been locked up for a couple of years away from the sea.
yeah, that must be really hard. So yeah, hopefully you can get back to that soon. Oh, so how can businesses be more transparent and authentic when promoting themselves and kind of avoid this whole greenwashing? Because there's a lot of it about now, and it's quite hard, to sort of sort the wheat from the chaff of you.
Absolutely. And I think it's something that small businesses, especially, feel really, really nervous about and often puts them off talking about the amazing things that they're doing because they'll think, oh, but we haven't reduced our energy consumption as much as we want to yet, or we're not doing this yet, we're not perfect yet. And the thing that I say to people is that, when it comes to sustainability, we're never going to be perfect. The
Mhm.
thing we need to do is talk, as you say, authentically and honestly about where we are and what we are doing. And I think for startups and sole traders, ecopreneurs, whatever word you'd like to use, those small businesses can be really agile. And
Mm.
if you're leading with your purpose, then actually you're much less likely to be greenwashing than a big organization that is trying to retrofit sustainability because they think it's going to be better maybe for their bottom line. And one of the things that I recommend people checking out is the Green Claims Code. That's a new marketing code that came out this year to make sure that people aren't misleading their customers by exaggerating a claim or saying something that's not quite true. But yeah, being honest, being clear about, where you are and where you're going, and not being afraid to talk about your challenges, your mistakes, and where want to be, but you haven't quite got to yet.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's really good advice, and I haven't heard about the Green Claims Code, so that's really really good. That's some good tip for people to check out because I think it is. I think people are quite nervous about saying things. Oh, I'm not doing it perfectly. How can I share that? But actually, it just shows your human side and gives other people hope that actually, I'm not going to share anything because, you know, I'm not good enough compared to everybody else. So I think it's
Absolutely.
that honesty is coming across. You know, people can have a really good conversation about it and talk about it more and help each other out.
Yeah. And
So
I think one thing also that's just worth mentioning is when you see these brands that, you know, get cancelled because of something that they've said about their sustainability and they've been accused of greenwashing, usually it's not what they're doing that's being criticized, it's the way that they're talking about it. Because, say, for example, they're saying a product is recyclable, but actually the entire product isn't recyclable. Or they're saying that the carbon footprint is X, but they haven't considered the whole, you know, lifetime impact of the product and those kind of things, you know, the full supply chain. So it's just thinking really clearly about, you know, is there any way that you could be misleading people? And then, yeah, as I say, just being really open and honest. And if you make a slip up or you change your mind or you decide to do something different, then, you know, hold your hands up and explain what you've learned and what you're going to do now as a result.
yeah, that's really good advice. I think, you know, the thing is the truth will always come out, you know. So I think, you know, by saying that and sort of, you know, saying to people, well, look, this is what I'm doing. It's not perfect, but I'm trying to do better. You might then get people coming in and saying, well, I can help you do that if you want. So
Absolutely.
so that's really, really good way of doing it. So how would you suggest sort of businesses can use communications to encourage behavior change then?
So I think, again, it kind of comes back to almost this reticence to talk about what you're doing. But the more we're talking, and as you say, you know, if you share a challenge with someone, someone else might be able to say, oh, actually, I had that problem last month and this is what I did. And, you know, we can go through a little bit quicker. I think in the sustainability space, we shouldn't be seeing each other as competitors. You know, we should all be helping each other out to make these changes more quickly.
Hmm.
And that could be from a personal perspective or as a brand. Um, and I think also another thing for organizations to think about is just their tone when they're talking about sustainability, particularly if it's to customers. You know, your audience might feel really, really guilty that they're not sustainable enough, but they might not be able to afford to make any changes. So having a, you know, finger waggy tone of, oh, you know, why are you still doing it this way when actually you should do this, isn't very helpful and often puts people off. So I tend to find, you know, being open and sharing what you're doing, what people could do, but in a way that's not, you know, putting any judgment on people if it's not something they're able to do. And that's one of the reasons, you know, on my LinkedIn, I often try and talk about the things that I'm trying to do to have an impact. And actually, by sharing those, I was originally doing it for accountability because I'm a massive people pleaser. So I was like, if people know I'm sharing them, then I'm going to have to do it because I know they're expecting
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But as a result, there's been a real ripple of people saying, oh, I didn't know that you could do that. You know, I'm going to make this change too, or I'm going to check out, um, you know, ecology for offsetting or green.bank for, you know, whether my bank account is, you know, investing in fossil fuels and all that kind of thing. And people just, you know, pick up in conversations. So being kind, being gentle, but yeah, being open and talking, and particularly
Mm.
about the challenges as well, because you might get something back if someone's already overcome that.
Yeah, no, Dave, that's really, really good advice. I think as well, you know, a lot of it, what we see on social media is like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm so happy, everything's amazing. And it makes people feel really bad. So I think being, you know, just being more helpful and being kind and not judgmental, that's, you know,
Yeah.
really, really good advice. What would you say is your top eco tip then?
I was thinking about this for a really long time, and I think about this quite a lot. But I think for me, it would be looking at what's the most realistic thing for you that's going to have an impact. Because I think when it comes to sustainability, often people say, you know, the first step is always the hardest. There's that hesitance of being perfect, so you don't want to start. But
Hmm.
once you've made one change, then you can think about the next one. So if that change isn't realistic, you know, if you think, oh well, I've got to be a vegan because that's the, you know, biggest impact that I'm going to have, but that's not realistic for your lifestyle, you're not going to make that change, and then maybe you're not going to make others. So thinking about, it could be a tiny thing, but just, you know, what's the one change that could be really, really easy for you to make? And then once you've made that and made it part of your habits, then think about the next one. So I think really think about your own situation rather than what people are telling you to do.
Yeah. Really good advice. Thank you. Thank you. And I know you're, as you say, on LinkedIn, you're sharing stuff all the time. So people do follow Melissa Hobson. Your website, melissahobson.co.uk.
Yep.
And you've got an offer as well. You do a PR power hour. So again, if this is shared below in the video below, if you're watching or catching up the replay, but you can find that melissahobson.co.uk/PR-power-hour. So do go and check out Melissa and connect with her on LinkedIn. Thank you so much for joining me, Melissa. Such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you, Karen. It was so lovely to chat to you.
Yeah, really, really great advice. So for those of you who are watching, please leave your comments and subscribe, or you can sign up to my newsletter to get it in your inbox. And we'll see you same time next week. So thanks for watching, and bye for now.